Yo, what's up, everybody? We're officially live. I got a new mic, so hopefully it's coming in clear. It's a nicer one, so I would imagine it probably sounds better, but we'll see. In fact, it looks like I'm a little quiet, so let me turn it up. First time using it. I just plugged it in about 20 minutes ago. Yeah, that sounds about right. So yeah, we have 9 games on the board. Obviously, Evan from Guy Boston Sports, you probably already know who it is. He has his own YouTube channel, gets a ton of views over there, so most of you are probably familiar with him. Those of you who aren't, make sure you go check out his stuff. He puts out a lot of good content, puts a lot of work into it. He definitely uploads some good stuff. So there's 9 games, not a ton of value, and we happen to be starting out with one that I have zero interest in. So I'll put a poll up. Maybe Evan has something. But as far as me, this is a straight pass for me. It's Milwaukee on the road at Washington. The line's Wizards plus 12.5.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of games today that just like the line is, it just not like I could see the game being somewhat of a, like this one, for example, a Milwaukee type game. But to me, it's like, are you really going to lay 12.5? You have baseball, you have NBA, you have like so much going on right now. Do you need to force this? Like, this isn't a type or a time of the year to start forcing stuff. You know what I mean? If you're betting Milwaukee minus 12.5 or even Wizards plus 12.5, you're forcing something here. So if I had a gun to my head, I'd just look at the better team in the Bucks, but I cannot tell you that there's value in this game.
I agree with everything you just said, except for the last sentence. If I had a gun to my head, I'd probably take Washington. But
well, neither one of us do, so I guess we're in a good place, and we don't have to find that out the hard way.
There are no guns to anyone's head here. So, yeah, it sounds like we're both passing. Poll is leaning towards the Bucks. Let's get to a better game. 52% Bucks, 27% pass. So, yeah, it's that kind of game. Lakers Raptors, and this, I know that this looks like the same type of matchup here, but I actually did place a bet in this one. I'm on the Raptors, and I took the points. Not necessarily crazy about it, obviously, but all right. So here's my reasoning. Hold on, let me get the poll running. So the Raptors are getting RJ Barrett and quickly back. They still have a ton of guys out. The Raptors are by no means healthy, but the thing about this Raptors team is they have no superstars. They have about 15 guys that could be role players on good NBA teams. So a bunch of pieces being out. If you look at the projected rotation tonight for the Raptors, it's really not terrible. So let me scroll through it right now. You got Quickly, Grady Dick, Bruce Brown, RJ Barrett, and Olynyk starting. Coming off the bat, they got that guy Freeman Liberty that they like, Nwora, Jalen McDaniels. So I mean, it's not like we're seeing when the Wizards were hurt and we were literally like, who are these guys? It's not really like that. There's players in this lineup tonight that have NBA experience and that have shown us they can play well, that are also playing for contracts next season. They're playing for spots and rotations next year. So I don't necessarily think this is an ultimate pump spot for the Raptors. But another push that got me to Toronto here is their play style. We know Toronto runs the shit out of the fast break. They run a super fast pace. They've done so all year. And with Quickly back, I expect it to be even turned up. Lakers this year, check this out. Lakers, 3-6 against the spread against the top 5 teams in pace. 3-6 against the spread against the top 5 teams in fast break frequency. And one thing the Raptors have done defensively, they don't do many things well, is they limit opponents' fast breaks. They don't let you get out on the fast break against them. Against the top 5 teams in that, Lakers 2-9 against the spread. So this is the exact build of the type of team that has given the Lakers problems. Not to mention, we're talking about laying 12 points on the road here. I mean, I'm not, like I said on Ski Show earlier, I'm not going to sit here, pound the table and tell you to bet the Raptors. I'm just telling you I did, and I think there's enough evidence to point towards a Raptors bet. But if Evan's about to say, Kyle, how are the Raptors going to stop the Lakers from scoring at the basket? I'm going to have no answer because I don't know.
That kind of rolls into what I like. So I did say in my video today, I said if I were to bet a side here, it would be the Raptors just because of the point amount. But I actually like the over in this spot. I know you did just mention that the transition defense and whatnot, but there isn't much defense to be found too much in this game. Overall, in my opinion, and Quickly and Barrett coming back for this Toronto team. I don't think people realize how much faster they play with those two guys. Like, you can even just picture how quickly Pitt plays, and you don't even really need numbers to back it up. That guy literally goes 0 to 100, and there's no in between. And I don't really see how the Lakers, regardless, defended. They're not that great at the rim. They're not that great on the perimeter. They stink at the mid-range defense. Like, what part of the floor am I missing? And Toronto, they can hold their own to some degree on the perimeter, but you kind of mentioned it too. If the Lakers want to score, and two guys that love to score at the rim, Anthony Davis and LeBron James, they can go and do it. So it's a high number. I think I actually got it early this morning at 232.5. I still don't mind it at 234. I love the fact that, I got a couple points of value there. But it's still, I did lock this in, but it is still somewhat of a stretch just due to that line. Like, if this was 229, I'd be all over it. But I almost think it's, in my opinion, I guess, silly to take the under. AK, where do you look there? The over.
Yeah, and if I was betting the total, 100% agree with you. The over is the only way I'd look here. Now, I'm not trying to push you guys over to the Raptors, but one thing I will say. Okay, so the Raptors.
You're trying.
I'm not intentionally, but all right. So the Raptors defense, terrible. We all agree it's terrible, but they do force turnovers, and they've been forcing a lot of turnovers recently. Lakers not the best with protecting the basketball. They're not Phoenix Suns territory, but I mean, last 10 games, 21st. Last 5 games, 22nd. Lakers struggling to protect the basketball. Toronto should create some turnovers, which could lead to fast break opportunities and actually helps your over. But also, Toronto doesn't really foul. On the full season, they're actually third in defensive free throw rate. In the last 5 games, they're eighth. Toronto doesn't send guys to the line. And the reason that's significant, getting to the line is a huge part of the Lakers' offense. Now, again, not trying to sell you guys on anything. I'm just saying I think there's enough evidence to justify a Raptors plus the points bet here. So, our poll
You might be selling me.
Our poll is 40%, 38% in Lakers. So, I mean, a way to combine the bets would be a Raptors team total over, because the total's at 234. That means at a 12.5-point spread, you're looking at a 112 team total. Maybe, but the Raptors' offense has been so bad.
I'm hoping for bad defense and closing my eyes when these teams are like really trying to score. Like, let's just hope the ball bounces in by accident.
Of course, the comments coming in. Kyle, you sold me. Raptors money line. I don't know if I'd go money line because Lakers need the game. They're battling for seeding and stuff. So I don't know if I go. Let me center my camera. I don't like this. Come on. On that camera. 1 second. I don't like how I'm off center. I'm OCD with that. There we go.
Nice.
I'm centered. I can't operate off center. So I'm not an off center type guy. All right. So let's move on to the next game. By the way, our poll barely on the Lakers. So Lakers win the poll, but there's a lot of people that were sold by my Raptors pitch there,
including myself.
All right. So I guess I'm on the hook if the Raptors don't come through here. Oklahoma City at Philly, and interested to hear what you have to say here, because this is a lot of people are in the waiting room waiting for the live show to start. This is the game they were talking about. A lot of people want to bet this game. There's a lot of attention on it.
Interesting.
So what do you got?
So to me, I mean, this was like a wait and see the injury report. It looks like I think Williams is out, right? And we don't know about SGA or Tyrese Maxey.
Yes.
I think the easy way that I would I don't know which side you're on, but the easy way I would look at this is if one of those guys does play and the other doesn't, I'm probably following the one that does. If they both play, to me, I think Philly wants to gear up and get ready for the playoffs, and I get that, but I also think this Thunder team, as young as they are, like, they need to head into the playoffs with their best basketballer. That's a team that's gonna, not necessarily a first round exit, but early exit. I lived it as a Celtics fan. This team was so good, but every time they got to the experience part of the season, it was like, we're not there. So I think if SGA plays, I guess I'd say that if SGA plays, regardless, I'd probably be on OKC's side of things. Hate that Williams is out, but I can honestly see the argument being made for Philly. Like, Philly at home here, kind of for all the reasons that I said about OKC too. Like, they're going to want to gear up. They're going to get Embiid back soon. Like, could be kind of a good spot for them, but I don't want to overthink this one. I think OKC's a better team, and that spread isn't too high.
I can't disagree with anything you just said there. Couple things worry me. The Thunder go to Boston tomorrow on TNT. Yep. Not saying that they would downplay this game, but I think maybe in a sense that we're trying to predict Gilgeous-Alexander injury status. Maybe they rest him tonight, save him for the big one against Boston. Something. As a whole, we know that Oklahoma City hasn't really been covering the number, and Philly has. Sixers are 5-1 against the number in the last 6 games, 7-2 in the last 9. Oklahoma City, I believe they're like 4-10 against the spread in their last 14. That being said, it's 2.5. We're not asking Philly to cover. We're essentially asking them to beat Oklahoma City. I mean, if Shai, I want to bet Philly. I really do. But if Shai plays and Maxey doesn't, and I'm holding a Philly plus 2.5 ticket, I might as well throw it right in the trash. I want to
open at 5.5, right? It was. So that would tell me. I guess Williams being out probably moves that a little bit, but I'm guessing Maxey plays because that's a pretty big line movement. But it is. I am interested your take on this. So they played Celtics tomorrow. I get that. Wouldn't one think to some degree, maybe I'm like game scheming here, like why don't you play Shea tonight, almost secure a win, and you might get your doors blown in by Boston even with Shea tomorrow. It's almost like you take the definite, or do you? Yeah, it's definitely a big question mark.
Okay, there's 2 aspects to that, because 100%, if you're talking about how to secure the most wins and put yourself in highest level of the highest spot in the standings at the end of the season, that's probably the best strategy. But there's other aspects in a sense that there's going to be a lot of people watching tomorrow. And it's not just about being the top of the standings. You want to look the best when more casual fans are watching. You get more fans. You sell more merch. It's not just, hey, let's get to the top of the standings. It's also like we want to improve our brand. And coming out and beating the Celtics on TNT when everyone's watching is huge for the Oklahoma City organization. So what you're saying is right in terms of, hey, if they just are going for that 1 seed, it's probably the smartest way to play it. But there are other moving pieces.
Yeah.
Where teams want to put their best foot forward when all the eyes are on them, even though it might be a little bit detrimental to their team's standings to prioritize that.
That's the NBA we have, though, to be completely honest. Right. I mean, like to some degree, that's more important.
Right. It's the biggest professional sport on social media is NBA. It's like 90% hype, 10% basketball. So going out and beating Boston when everyone's watching is huge in NBA culture. So, all right, 71%, 22% Thunder. So everyone's betting Oklahoma City here. I don't know if they just clicked that for the poll, if people went out and bet it, rolling the dice on Shai's status. I will say Thunder have looked pretty solid without him. So if he doesn't play, you're not dead in the water here. It is Philadelphia. So
true.
All right, next game. Knicks Heat. I don't like my bet in this one, but I do have a bet down. You got anything?
What do you got?
I'm on the under.
You can start it off. Okay.
So
go ahead.
Obviously, I feel like I don't even need to say why I would be on the under. These 2 teams, top 5 defenses, bottom 5 pace, neither run to the fast break. It's just like a sales pitch here on the under. It doesn't take much. It should be pretty obvious. That being said, the Knicks are 6-1 to the over in their last 7 games. What are we doing here? I did bet this at the under at 206.5. What worries me a little, obviously, is that the Knicks went 6-1 to the over. I shouldn't say what worries me a little. The best way to phrase it is the reason I was able to kind of brush aside the 6-1 to the over in the last 7 games. A couple of those overs were the Knicks putting up a really big number against a really bad team. They put up like 140 on Toronto, like 130 on the Pistons. It's not going to happen on the road in Miami. These 2 teams, a little bit of a rivalry developing because they met in the playoffs last year. So a lot of times in these games, in these big games with some rivalry, defense tends to show up. That's the side you usually see step up, is the defensive side. So I expect to see a lot of defense. I think both teams, even though they've been picking up the pace as of late, which worries me a little, I think both teams in this game that they need, grinded out defensive game, are going to kind of go back to their roots and play a lot of half-court basketball. So I'm in on the under, but this is one where if you're on the over, I can't say I hate it either. So I'm on the under.
Yeah, it would come probably down to the number. It's like these are still 2 NBA teams, but to your point, I knew right where you're going, because this is by far and away the best defense that the Knicks have played in the last, like 10 games. Forget like the last, 6, 7 or so. My play in this one, I did already take the Knicks plus 3.5. I just figure if this is going to be I still like it at 3. If this is going to be a low scoring game and this is going to be a grinded out back and forth type of a game, give me the field goal. You know what I mean? Like this is that could be a really big, huge number here in a spot in which I think it's going to be a close game. To be honest, I thought about rolling with money line too, but it just seems like this is the type of game that Miami could get up for, and the Knicks could still be like shell shocked by the fact that they're playing a good basketball team. You know, I mean, I know they played the Thunder, but they really just haven't been playing great teams.
No SGA,
no
SGA in that one.
Exactly. Yeah, good point. Yeah, so it's like. I do see that, and I think Jimmy and Bam are both good to go here as well. So I can see the Miami side of things, but again, like I'm really, and I said it in my video this morning, I was like, this truly comes down to the math of it being a projected low-scoring game and me getting, 3 points here. And I got it at, like I said, plus 3.5 on ESPN just about an hour ago for like minus 115, so a little bit more than the minus 110 normal juice, but I figured that might come back to bite me if I didn't pull it. So yeah, give me the Knicks plus 3. Surprisingly, they've looked okay offensively even without Randall, and I guess it shouldn't be that big a surprise. Brunson, DiVincenzo, the guys are playing well. Hart stepped up. But again, kind of to circle back, my one concern is, are they playing G League teams and all of a sudden they're going to play one of the grittiest teams in the NBA? Maybe.
Yeah, but to support your Knicks play, what you just said, to support your Knicks bet, what you just said about the Knicks, maybe a wake-up call, finally playing a good physical defense. I say the same thing about Miami here. In the last 10 games, they played Detroit twice, Cleveland with nobody twice, Portland, Washington. I mean, Miami's played a really weak schedule themselves. So I think both teams are in for that wake-up call that you just described. I think both offenses are going to be like, holy shit, this is hard.
That makes me feel better. That's a good point. Yeah,
actually, in the last 10 games, I'll pull it up. I have it right here. In the last 10 games, strength of schedule between Heat and Knicks, last 10, 27th and 25th. So,
okay.
Both are playing a lot of garbage right now.
All right.
So
that basket might look tiny for both of them today.
Yeah.
I think your under's a good look.
To quote a friend of mine, points are going to be at a premium. That's his go-to line. That's why I picked the under. So I'm saying, you know what? I don't care that the Knicks are 6-1 to the over. This is a wake-up call. So I'm on the under. Next up, Houston, Minnesota. Hey, hold up. He picked the Knicks on his own. I didn't talk him into that. I'm a Knicks fan. People are thinking I conned you into picking the Knicks on the show.
I mean, I could tell him about the bribe you gave me before we started rolling, but I don't know if maybe we keep that one.
Yeah. Don't mention
this is Knicks
Venmo.
Propaganda out here.
Don't mention the Venmo I hit you with before we went live. Rockets at T-Wolves, and I don't think Evan's going to like my bet on this one. I laid it. I laid the points.
That's the way I haven't bet it, but I lean that way too.
Oh shit! Really? Okay.
I did. Yeah.
All right. So I feel like I have good reasoning. So if you didn't bet it yet, this was one I think I will try to sell you. I think I'm on the right side here. So first of all, I don't even need to say that the Rockets have played nobody. They look great and awesome for the Rockets organization. I'm wearing a Rockets hat. I love it. It's awesome. They played nobody. And I had Dallas as my top bet against Houston the other night for that exact reason. Like, this is, guys, like, we're about to see, will the real Houston Rockets please stand up? And they stood up loud and clear against Dallas. I think I got that at almost a pick 'em. I think I got that at minus 108 money line, which I was like, what? So Houston's pretty much played nobody. Now, it's not saying they're a bad team or anything, but what are you expecting to happen here? Houston's hot streak is based on them shooting a three-point shot. Out of nowhere, they became one of the hottest three-point shooting teams in the NBA, and it was great. They were shooting them on nobodies. In the last two games, they struggled to get the offense going against Utah. Against the Jazz, they couldn't get the offense going. They won 101-100. Last game, they played Dallas, a good defense. Mavs, one of the best defenses in the NBA all of a sudden. Couldn't do anything. Now, we're going to trust their offense to go on the road in Minnesota against a T-Wolves team that's pissed off after just losing at home embarrassingly as 8-point favorites against the Bulls. I had Bulls money line in that game, by the way, which was gorgeous. It was the ultimate flat spot. Minnesota went on the road to Denver, beat the Nuggets, then came home to play the Bulls. Like, give me that plus 300. Now they're
nice.
Now they got embarrassed at home. They're at home against the Rockets, a game that means something to them. I think all signs point towards a comfortable double-digit win here. I think Minnesota controls it start to finish. So, also, I like the matchup for the Minnesota defense in a sense that what Minnesota does is they put a ton of pressure on the perimeter. They force you, they dare you, like come inside and try to score and go Bear. That's what they dare you to do.
Yep.
Houston's been living on the outside, man. They don't want to come in there. Without Şengün, the Rockets have no interior scoring presence. So, I think I'm on the right side in this one in Minnesota. I got it at -7.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I've seen a lot of people like taking the points today with Houston, and it makes sense. But like to your point, and I said it in my video earlier today, I was like, let me be proved wrong that the Rockets can't bounce back. You know, like I don't want to bet on a team on a whim that they lose and then they bounce back. They played a good team all of a sudden and got smacked. Now they're playing another one. Like some teams will turtle, some teams will, puff their chest out and take it on the chin and move on. I think the Rockets are a team, of turtles. Without Şengün, like I don't see where that, offense or even like sort of being able to counter, whether it's the perimeter, the middle of the kind of in the paint, not at the rim, but then also at the rim. So I don't really see how they defensively stop either Conley or Edwards. I think that both those guys are going to be able to score because, this is a Houston team. They don't allow a lot of assists. They allow a ton of points to guard. So their perimeter defense may look good to some degree on paper, but it really isn't. That's because they're letting their guards get to the paint. And then on the flip side, like if Houston can't shoot against Minnesota, Jabari Smith, like all 4'1" of them is going to score on Rudy Gobert, or Dylan Brooks is going to score on Like, what are they going to do? Because Jalen Green's not crossing half court before he scores. Like, it's going to be a tough spot for Houston. The one thing I'll say is that maybe they are able to, if you want to give an argument to the other side, like maybe they are able to hang in this game based on how hot they were. And 7.5 points is a decent amount, but like we're not talking about beating them by double digits here or whatnot. This is Minnesota that should be anything you could do, I could do better type of a team tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if the Rockets are able to hang in this game, I think it happens on the defensive end, because I still will give the Rockets defense some credit. It's just their rim protection has fallen off without Şengün. So against Minnesota, that can really score on the interior. I'm not even a big fan of Minnesota's offense, but I just think this number's too low. You mean to tell me that on a neutral court, right now, the Timberwolves are only 3 points better than the Rockets? I mean, this is like the 1 seed in the West. This is crazy. Yeah. Coming off an ugly loss. No way.
And that being said, I've literally said it all year long, and it's been right for the majority. Like, this is a Rockets team that is not an away team. Like they've kind of at the beginning of the year exceeded expectations, played well. Şengün came out of his shell, even though he showed a lot of signs last year. But on the road, like still not a very good team, and I don't believe in their defense on the road either. So their one redeeming quality, they've been a tough road defense this year.
Yeah. That's if you're betting the Rockets, that's where you're hoping that the defense shows up. All right, so our poll is on Minnesota, not overwhelmingly, 56 to 35% on Minnesota. Spurs, Nuggets, and I believe the next two are passes for me. I would love if Evan's got a great reason here, I would love to take a stab on Spurs plus 16. The Nuggets got a big game on deck, I believe.
What was it? Either way, I did. I'm not going to bet it, so it is fully much a lean. But I don't think you could catch me. Like, I can't make the argument for Denver. I know that they just dropped 130 against Cleveland, but this is a Denver team that realistically, for the last 2 years, we do see them kind of let their foot off the gas towards the end of the year. I know they're still going to want to win games and whatnot. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about winning by 16 points, 17 points. So they could go out there, win this game by 10, still try, chase down the 1 seed and all that. But it's a matter of, is this team really the type of team that has their foot on the neck and then they push down harder? I don't really see it. So that's based on, I would say the last 2 years of them just kind of easing up a little bit more, ATS wise than obviously winning games. Because again, I can't make an argument for San Antonio money line. Don't get me wrong here, but 16 points is a hell of a lot for these teams at the top of the conference. Like, they're not going, the minute they get say it's a fourth quarter double digit lead, like these teams are going to be thinking, don't let Jokic stay in too long, because one dribble later, you never know what happens. And then it goes the season. So if they have a decent lead, like they're going to throw in some of the bench guys. And yes, bench guys may be trying harder and everything like that. But if you go to the Denver scrubs versus, San Antonio will probably play some of their new guys, I think it becomes a little bit closer of a game down the stretch. So
completely agree.
All that being said, it's very much a lean, but I can't be catching Denver minus 16 right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with what you just said. And we don't even know if Jamal Murray's going to play, by the way. He's questionable, so he might not even play. The reason that I didn't actually bet this is Denver's got me a little scared because I really liked Cleveland +5 the other day. It was an afternoon game. I really like Cleveland on the road in Denver. That loss robbed me of a sweep that day. So and it wasn't like I watched the whole game. It wasn't like, oh, it came down to like they got their asses beat in the second half of that game. And Denver, without Jamal Murray, beat the hell out of a Cleveland team that I think when healthy is pretty good. So that's what has me a little worried. It's like I think there's a chance that 70% Denver can still cover this. That's what has me worried.
That it is fair because like everything I just talked about, like I didn't even mention how bad San Antonio is and the fact that like they really don't want to win basketball games or anything. So it's like, I just talked about the Denver side. That's why it's still a lean. Like, I'm not staking my claim on this one. It's just I can't get to Denver. So then where do we start looking? The opposing
100%.
team.
So we feel like identical about this game. Spurs or pass with probably an emphasis on the pass. 51% of you said you would take the points with San Antonio. So it looks like the viewers kind of agree with this also. I'm actually surprised the line is so high, to be honest.
Me too.
Cleveland, Utah. I don't have a single word to say. I guess Donovan Mitchell's ruled out now. I didn't have any interest in it to start. Then Donovan Mitchell's ruled out. It dropped to 10. Still have no interest in it. I guess I would lean Jazz, but I feel like Cleveland needs a win right now. So if the Knicks go and beat the Heat, Cleveland's going to lose the 3 seed that they just worked their ass off to get. So I guess I don't know. I actually I don't even have a lead.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, so we don't have to spend too much time on it because it's like, oh, Mitchell's out, great. Well, Markkanen, Clarkson, Collins, all out for the Jazz. It's like, well, then I'm not going to bet on the Jazz without 3 of their top, 4 or 5 guys there. So 6 guys maybe. So yeah, I don't really have much in this game. I don't hate the over though. Like this Cleveland defense hasn't exactly been, I think that they're going to kind of sharpen it up, but that is a low-ish number. I think it's at like 216 now. So it's going down. Yes, the books clearly are like handing out these it's moving in that direction, but I took the over in that Cleveland Nuggets game. That game had under written all over it, and it was a 231 finish. Nuggets had a lot to do with that, but kind of my point with this defense. I didn't bet it. I'm not going to bet it, but that's what I would consider over taking a side here. Yeah,
what the hell happened to the Cavs defense? They got Mobley and Mitchell back. I was like, we're going to start to see this defense turn around. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Cavs defense. They're supposed to be a defensive team. 44%, 29% on Cleveland there, but who cares on that game? But we do have 2 good games to finish. And first one up is Golden State. I actually have the wrong pie charts in the bottom corner. Sorry about that. But it's Golden State, Dallas. This game's in Golden State. Great game, and this line is freaking me out, man. Why?
Smells like a trap. Smells like a trap and a half.
It reeks of one. Why is Golden State favored here?
I'm not exactly sure. Like Dallas has, if I'm not mistaken, Dallas is like crushed in the last couple times. Not crushed, but beat them pretty handily.
5-0 against the spread in a row.
There you go. And Dallas, we talked about the Rockets, right? Like Dallas, maybe the hottest team in the league right now. Their defense is there. Golden State, they have 4 wins in a row, but like I don't have it up in front of me. I can find it. Like 3 of those games aren't really, or 2 of them at least. I know San Antonio's in there. Like this smells like an absolute trap and a half. I already bet Dallas money line just because it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and overthink it and be like, oh, it's like, no, they're so much better than Golden State. Yes, it's in Golden State, but the way this Dallas team's playing, like they should walk in, beat Golden State and walk out. Like it's alarming that this line is Dallas as underdogs here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like, oh, Dallas has been playing slightly better than Golden State. No, Dallas is playing way better than Golden State. Dallas might be the hottest team in basketball right now. And not only that, something you didn't mention, Dallas is like the best road team in the NBA this year. They're 9-2 against the spread in their last 11 on the road. Golden State 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 at home. So in addition to Dallas has been the much better team against a much stronger schedule, but you also have one of the best road teams in the NBA on the road against one of the worst home teams.
Home teams, yeah.
It's crazy. If you didn't show me anything and just asked me to handicap this game, I would have Dallas laying 3.5, 4 here. So I don't understand the line, and maybe we are just a couple of suckers out here walking into this, but I don't see how you don't take Dallas. I don't know. In my opinion, the people who are betting Golden State here are the type of people that just bet sketchy lines, which you can have success doing, by the way. So I'm not hating on that if that's your strategy. But I feel like that's all they got. It's like, hey, this line doesn't make sense. I'm taking Golden State. Again, not hating on that strategy, but personally, I need also to see an angle as well.
Right.
And I'm not seeing it there.
Like to me, it would be worse if if I just look at this, think Dallas obvious, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna stay away from that because of this sketchy line, and then Dallas crushes them by 30. It's like I'd rather live with taking the Dallas play than looking at what seems to me, and again, we could be suckers here, but what seems to be, one of my favorite plays of the night, passing on it because of the line. But you know what? I've been wrong plenty of times before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I'd be crazy surprised if Golden State comes out and wins. We know that they have a high ceiling, and they're capable of playing great. There's no way. Yes, I know I have the wrong pie charts. I said it. Sorry. So, yeah, we're on Dallas. The poll's on Dallas. We'll see. Let's see. I would imagine most of the action they're taking is coming in on Dallas, but I don't know. Not privy to that information. Next game. Clippers-Kings. And, yeah, I know the pie chart's wrong. We'll get rid of it. This is an interesting one. Now, Kawhi Leonard's been ruled out, by the way. That just happened because we noticed it. I was on a different show at 1:30, and we noticed it mid-show. Holy shit, Kawhi's out. I'm not sure. I'd like to get your opinion on this. So I am holding an under 223 ticket that I bet last night. Does Kawhi being out help or hurt that?
It probably hurts it a little bit, but I wouldn't, be shaking on my boots over it. I actually bet the Clippers already, and then saw that he was out, and it's like, all right, well, now I'm living with that. So I would say between the two of us, I'm probably more like, oh crap, with what I have. So feel good about that. I don't mind that. I don't think that, Kawhi playing slows their pace down all that much. And honestly, I don't expect Sacramento to come out here and fry offensively, even though the Clippers defense, as of late has been pretty damn bad, but it's still like a decent defense from top to bottom, even without Kawhi. Like they should be able to play, Powell, George, even Manzu, but like the way they match up against the Sacramento team, it should be somewhat defensive. So I don't mind the under. Like I said, I already bet the Clippers, which kind of stinks that he's out, but this is the type of thing where, I'm not cashing on anything. I'm just going to ride with it. And maybe they play better. But yeah, I wouldn't feel too bad about an under ticket, even without Kawhi.
Well, my under is based on, look, I know, and you mentioned this, the Clippers defense has been like next level bad. They're putting up Utah Jazz numbers out there on the defensive side of the ball. But these two teams are not really playing the type of basketball that you would expect by looking at the rosters and by like how they're branded, I guess you could say. These teams are playing two of the slowest paces in the NBA right now. The Kings are playing slow-paced, half-court, defense and rebound first basketball. That's what they're playing, which is not what you think of when you think of the Sacramento Kings, but that's how they're playing. They've actually been one of the better defenses in the NBA recently, and they're one of the slowest paces, which I'll pull it up right now, so I'm not giving you estimations. I can give you the actual numbers. In the last 5 games, these two teams, 24th and 28th in pace. These teams are playing slow basketball. Kings' defense has been better than their – well, actually, the defense seems to have fallen off in the last 5 games, but they also played the 6th strongest schedule. So maybe the Kings' defense was exposed a little bit recently. But as a whole, yeah, I like the matchup for both offenses. I just don't think there's going to be many possessions. And you can have the best offensive matchup in the world, if each possession is taking 20 seconds and there's not fast breaks, your over is not going to hit. I don't care if they shoot 55% from the floor. The over is not going to hit if you don't get the possessions to get there. And I'm just expecting a really slow-paced game here. So I got the under at 223. I wish Kawhi Leonard was playing because, as you mentioned, I think he slows down the pace. Usually when he gets the ball, it stops. He takes his second, and it kind of turns it into a long possession. Also, he's a great defender. So right. I think Kawhi Leonard being out hurts me. I didn't even put my pickup on the screen. I'm sorry, guys. I'm on the under here, and so obviously you said you got burned with your Clippers ticket.
Yeah.
For everyone watching, if you were to place a bet right now, what would it be?
If I think that I'd still like the Clippers side of things, but now at plus money. That's where I kind of feel like I got burned. This Kings team, and the Kings have made me plenty of money this year, to be completely honest. Like, they just aren't as consistent as I would like. Now they're playing, you mentioned this, right? Like, they're playing tough teams, but there's been a few of these games, like, they should have shown up way more against those two meaningful games against Dallas at home. And they really didn't have, like, the second game, they definitely showed up more, but Dallas in their building in a decent spot with, implications and whatnot. They go and get beat by like 40. It doesn't seem like the Kings are on the ball right now, whereas the Clippers, they haven't played, that many great teams, but I've seen a little bit more quality basketball out of them. So I'd still like the Clippers getting the points or plus money, just way more value now than what I already have locked in. I think I got it at Clippers money line minus 125. So it's a pretty big swing now that they're, plus, one, whatever. So, but it wouldn't really change it wouldn't change my, like, Kawhi being out, wanted him in, doesn't swing my entire, thoughts on the game overall, I guess.
Yeah, and actually, I think right now, I'm already in on the under. I placed my bet last night also. But if I was betting this right now, I think I would lean towards Clippers plus the points if I was taking a bet now with, like, the updated information. But to be honest, if I didn't have a bet on this game right now looking at this, it might even be a pass or jump in live on something because, man, these lineups with these moving pieces are pretty hard to predict. And Clippers as a whole without Kawhi, I don't think they've been very profitable. That being said, that doesn't mean they can't be profitable here. I don't think they have been. I might be wrong on that.
No, I don't think so. I think I know he played. He wasn't on. The Celtics beat them by a bunch when he didn't play, right? That's what I remember. I'm
pulling it up right now. Clippers record without Kawhi Leonard this season. Oh, they're 3-3 without him. They're actually
okay.
They're actually 3-1 in their last 4 games without Kawhi, including a win in Golden State. I had the Clippers in that one too. I remember that game. Kawhi was ruled out, and everyone was like, "Oh, your Clippers bet is dead." And Golden State was up big, and Clippers came all the way back and won. So yeah, the Clips 3-1 in their last 4 games without Kawhi, but 2 of those wins, Charlotte and Memphis at home.
Yeah. We'll see. Now it's like I got the underdog mentality for the Clips without the underdog money, but hey, we'll have fun watching it.
The underdog money is kind of the most important part.
Yeah, I guess so. That's what we're talking about here.
All right, so let's do a quick community parlay, and then let's get out of here because I got an MLB show in 21 minutes. So we'll make it a quick one. All right, so first up, they liked... And we'll do first and second place in these polls. So we got Bucks minus 13. They liked Lakers minus 12.5. You guys like those? Thunder. You guys definitely like the Thunder. And then Knicks Heat. You guys like the Knicks. All right. First poll. First and second place are making it. While they're voting, you want to tell them where they can check out your stuff? I'm pretty sure most of them already know, but
yeah. My Twitter's on the screen at @FGuyBoston. You can find everything through there, but honestly, you search Guy Boston Sports on YouTube. It's probably my obviously main focus and everything like that. So yeah, you guys want to check me out if you haven't, and if you have, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I see so many, comments and whatnot being like, get back on the Sausage Show and everything. So I do know people are loving this. So I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. I got a lot of positive reviews the first time you came back too, and my Discord people asking to get you back.
Love it.
Yeah, and you're doing. I saw you're putting out NBA and MLB content right now, right?
Correct. Yep.
Same. Yep. It's tough, man.
Yes, I was
I'm
gonna
guessing
say,
you're not getting much sleep either.
No, you know, and like I know we talked about it here actually, but so I went full time March 1st, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna have so much more time. Not really. I'm just doing more work.
It's way less time. But it's also part of like, so I'll like work all day and then I'll go upstairs and sit on the couch at like 1 a.m. and then I'll put on TV and I'm not really ready to sleep yet, and I'll be like, why am I just sitting here? I could put on TV while I work downstairs in the office. So,
you go back down.
Right, like I can't. I'll be like, my competitors are still working. Like, it's a sickness. All right, so we got by the way, the first 2 legs are Thunder money line and Knicks money line. So it should be a nice payout, or at least to start. We got Timberwolves money line.
I'm on the Timberwolves. You convinced me, so I'm taking them.
Let's do it.
It's gonna be a final play of mine.
Spurs plus 16. Dallas money line, and they voted for Kings or Clippers. I think I could just scroll up. That was the last one. They voted for the Kings. All right. First and second place make the poll. I didn't include the Cleveland-Utah game. I just feel like it's a weird game, and the poll is 8 games, 4 each. It makes it easier. But anyway, let's cast these votes. Let's get first and second place up, and let's get the hell out of here. Yeah, let me know when you want me to come on to record that podcast. Be happy to do it. So we'll just plan it out.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. Hopefully that's coming soon. If anyone's watching, we got a little bit of a idea brewing.
You did one with Austin?
I did one with Austin probably about a year ago, and then I did one with I don't think he makes videos anymore, but his name was King Sanders, and kind of just fizzled out a little bit. But I want to bring back more of the, like, everyone knows us from obviously our videos doing picks and just overall, but like these are going to be more long format videos of like, well, who are you? What's your story? How'd you get here? So kind of a cool idea in my opinion. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to come on. So we'll just plan that out. And I noticed that because when I started, I was like, oh, stick to the stuff. They don't want to hear about that. But then I noticed that when we just BS sometimes or talking, I get very positive reviews. People are like, that was funny, man. You should, so people, some people,
100%.
Yeah, people like to know you on a personal level, like so they understand the way you think and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's see the odds on this guy. By the way, the community parlay finished out with Mavs and T-Wolves money line. So that would put our final odds here at, so we got T-Wolves, we got Knicks, we got Thunder, and we got Mavericks plus 920.
Wow.
They took a home run swing for you.
Wow.
That's a lot of pressure there. So community parlay today, Oklahoma City money line, Knicks money line, Mavericks money line, T-Wolves money line plus 920. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you give Ev a follow here. Does a lot of good stuff. And yeah, we'll get you back on soon. And let me know when you want me to come on to your over to your side.
Let's do it. Sounds good.
Everyone have a good day. I'll be back in 17 minutes for MLB. Later.